So here I am doing something very normal. I'm gonna go and get a Diet Coke and probably a chocolate donut. And I've done that at this on cue, I don't know how many times. It's the first time I've done something normal in a long time, but everything around me feels very unsettled and very unnormal. So this video is going to be a little bit different. A couple weeks ago, I found out that I have cancer. Kind of started a couple weeks ago where I felt like I had these gas pains and just, and thought I was constipated. And so my wife, she's a nurse. We did all the over-the-counter things that you normally do when that's an issue. And I even remember it was the first time in 7 years of being a full-time worship pastor that I actually missed a Sunday that wasn't on the schedule, wasn't because of vacation, whatever. I came Sunday morning, told the rhythm electric player to bring his acoustic and kind of move some things around, sat there run through, just made sure everyone was okay. And then I went home, and that was Sunday. And then on Monday, I'm still feeling not great. And now I wake up in the afternoon with a fever, and my wife's like, okay, if you are constipated, like you're not producing anything, and now you have a fever, like that's bad news. You need to go to the ER. So I go to the ER, and they say, well, okay, you got a stomach bug. That's why you've been feeling the way you do. You actually don't have anything inside. That's why you haven't been producing anything. You're dehydrated. This is nothing that antibiotics and fluids can't fix. But when we were scanning your abdomen area, we found something. And so went into the hospital for one reason and got admitted into the hospital for another reason. So I was in the hospital for about 3 days, and I had a stent put in because there is a mass about the size of a tennis ball, I think, that is kind of, I don't know, down here by, just, in the back. But so it's pushing up against one of those kidneys, and it's pinching off the ureter. So the kidney is not able to drain properly. And you could actually see it on the CT, like my kidney on my right looks great. The one on the left, you can kind of tell is in the beginning stages of trying to shut down. And then never mind the fact that there's this weird thing that is growing. And so had the stent put in to kind of help with the ureter issue, but also had a biopsy done to figure out what on earth this is. You nervous?
Not really nervous. What about you?
I guess I'm nervous. I just want to know. So I got the results of that the following week. I met with an oncologist, and it turns out that it's testicular cancer. But one way or another, so I have cancer, and that means chemotherapy. And so I am scheduled to do 3 rounds chemotherapy that are 3 weeks apiece. So I have 9 weeks of this in front of me. The first week, it's like all day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then week 2, I just do a half day on a Tuesday. And then week 3, I do another half day on a Tuesday. And then that cycle repeats itself 2 more times. And so a lot of people ask me, like, so how are you doing? And that answer changes by the moment, because some days I feel pretty strong. Like in this second, in this moment right now, I feel okay. I'm confident. I'm okay. But there are moments when I'm not okay. There was a few days ago where I was, I just made it public on Facebook. And, so people were asking me a bunch of questions, here at the church, and people that I was running into. And I was okay talking about it. That wasn't a problem. But then I got a phone call from the oncologist, and they needed to move some things around. But basically I was having conversations about, you're coming in at this day, at this time. Things I already knew, but I don't know. It was just like, it got real for a moment, and that moment was hard. And, and so it's been back and forth like that. I will say though, I've had to face some fears. Like when I went into the ER, my biggest fear at the moment was, oh my gosh, they're going to have to give me an IV. Like I was super anxious about that. And of course, through the course of the evening, I had an IV put in. I also had to have 2 more blood cultures taken. So that's 2 more sticks. And then when I was in the hospital, I had a stent put in and I had a biopsy done. And so, with all of those procedures and all of that, I can honestly say that all of them were better than I thought they would be. In terms of like whatever my fears were, it was better than that. I even remember going in for the stint. The stint was first, and I was like when you're, and maybe you've experienced this, like you're in the bed and they're wheeling you around, operating room, and of course, like that part of the hospital is not the pretty part. Like it doesn't have artwork on there in the '90s motif or whatever. Like it's not the pretty part of the hospital. It's more like the lower level of the cruise ship kind of thing, where it's like sterile walls and weird smells, and like I was like wheeling into that for that procedure for the stint. I was so anxious, so incredibly anxious. But then I remember scooting over from the bed that I was wheeled on onto the bed that they were going to use in the operating room. And then the very next thing I remember is waking up in recovery. I don't remember a blessed thing and on the in between. And even the biopsy, I was awake for that, but they definitely kind of put me in la la land a little bit, and I don't remember feeling a thing. I remember answering questions.
I decided to go ahead and video this journey. Another blessing is that we had excellent care when we were in the hospital, and not just care for him, but also care for me. I feel like everybody was very kind and addressed some of my needs too. And just the way that they took care of him really meant the world to me. Anyway, I've gone through a lot of emotions. There's been a lot of ups and a lot of downs, a huge gamut. And I'd be lying if I said there wasn't. I think all that's to be expected. I knew I'd need this box of tissues.
If I'm honest, I have the extra pressure of like, so I'm a pastor and I'm the person that gets on stage and is trying to encourage other people and really help them to grow in their faith and for them to connect with God. And, when you're laying in a hospital bed and you just got a cancer, diagnosis 24 hours ago, and you're laying there and you're like, I don't even know what this means. Like, is this curable? Is it treatable? Does it mean that I'm going to die? Like when you're facing death, like in that kind of a way, like it gets real really quick. I had those moments where it's like, do I really believe this? Like, do I really believe these things that I read about, that I sing about, that I pray about? I wanted to. Like, it wasn't that I didn't want to. I wanted to desperately believe in this. But it's like, well, maybe I got this wrong. Maybe this is just something that we all, that we made up because we wanted to feel good about ourselves. Maybe, because there's other religions in the world, and maybe I'm the one that got it wrong. Like, those are the deep, dark places that you go to when you're faced with this, and you really have to double down on like, okay, I've read about this, I've prayed about this, I've sung about this. It's either real or it's not. And so I've really had to just double down on all of it.
When he felt like he was called into ministry, a lot of people told us that God calls you and then he equips you. Well, that's really true with anything in life. And so now he's called us into this season. And it's a difficult season, but I want to be found faithful and obedient. And so that's where we're at. And we're just taking it one day at a time and just walking by faith, knowing that God is still good.
So needless to say, I don't know what the next couple of weeks, what they entail. In fact, I'm actually recording this probably weeks in advance of when you're going to see this, because by the time that you see this, I'm going to be already smack dab in the middle, and I might do okay with it. I might not do okay with it. When I say not okay, it's just like, not being able to do anything. If I had the energy, I mean, I'm not going to have the hair, but like if I had the energy to continue on, then I'd like to still make videos. I may not have the energy. I don't know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a couple of weeks off. And so this is probably the last video that I will create for a while. But I just want to kind of see how I do with one round of chemo, those 3 weeks that kind of basically take us to the end of August. And I think that's going to give me a better idea of what the rest of the year kind of holds for me. And if I do okay, then I'll try to jump back into it. But I'm also kind of worried that I can't even do my primary job. You know, we live in a world where Sunday's always coming. And I've got a great team of volunteers, and we got an amazing team that even when I was in the hospital, all that, I missed 2 weeks, 2 Sundays, and everyone filled in the gap, and it was incredible. But I'm a little worried, like, am I even going to be able to do my main job? Another reason that I'm sharing all this with you is that I am not too proud to ask for your prayers. And hopefully, you have, with you watching these videos, hopefully, the reason you keep watching these videos is, maybe I have been a blessing to you in your ministry. Um, and so if you would like to return the favor, that's a weird way to put it, but I don't know how else to put that. Um, really would, I really would covet your prayers. For me and my family, I've got 3 kids, one that's 17, 15, and 13. They're certainly old enough to help and do a lot of things around the house, but they're also old enough to know that, like, this is pretty serious. They say it's treatable and curable. My doctor even said it this way: if you're going to have cancer, this is the kind of cancer to have. I guess that's good. Um, but here starts the journey. It's not the journey I wanted, um, but it's the journey that I have. And, we don't necessarily get to pick the journeys, but we get to choose how we respond to them. And truth of the matter is that if this can be used to draw people closer to Jesus, then I'm for it.